In this module, you will learn about various transmission media, wired and wireless. Let us begin the session with the concept of transmission medium. A transmission medium, also known as communication channel, refers to a medium which carries a signal from one computer to another. It can be either wired or wireless. You can also call them as guided and unguided media. Let us now discuss wired media in detail. The wired transmission media is used to physically connect two computers. Here, the data signals physically are transferred to the receiving computer through the wired transmission medium from transmitting computer. Various wired transmission media includes twisted pair cable, Ethernet cable, coaxial cable, optical fiber, and so on. Twisted pair cables are commonly found in LANs, and it consists of two insulated wires arranged in a regular spiral pattern, double helix. It is mostly found in modern Ethernet networks and in telephone communications in offices. Voice-grade medium or GM cables are usually used in telephonic communication, whereas higher quality cables called as data-grade medium or DGM are used in LAN applications. In twisted pair cables, the twisting of wires helps to reduce the crosstalk and thereby minimizes bleeding of a signal from one wire to another. Crosstalk can also corrupt the signal, causing network errors. Apart from preventing internal crosstalk, the twisting of wires also saves the signal from external interference, which affects both the wires, resulting in creating unwanted signals. Advantages of twisted pair cables are: it is low weight, easy to install, simple, and easy to maintain. It helps in carrying a signal over long distances without amplification. It is one of the least expensive medium for low speed, up to 10 Mbps, applications where the distance between the nodes is relatively small. Disadvantages of twisted pair cables include: it easily picks up noise signals. As it is thin in size, it is likely to break easily. It is not suitable to use in broadband applications. There are two types of twisted pair cables available in the market, namely shielded twisted pair or STP cable and unshielded twisted pair or UTP cable. The STP cable is designed with shielding of the individual pairs of wires, which protects it from crosstalk and external interference. STP requires proper grounding at both the ends. It is costlier and heavier than UTP. Next is about coaxial cables. Coaxial cables are mostly used transmission media for LANs. Coaxial cables consist of solid wire cores encircled by one or more foil or wire shields. Each of these are separated by a particular kind of plastic insulator. The shield provides the ground and inner core carries the signal. It is suitable for high-speed communication as it has high electrical properties. It is widely used for large corporations, in building security systems, and also in television signals. Around metropolitan areas, multi-channel television signals can be transmitted at considerably lesser cost. Advantages of coaxial cables are: data transmission characteristics of coaxial cables are better than twisted pair. Coaxial cables are used as the base in shared cable network. It is used for broadband communication as several channels can be transmitted simultaneously. It provides high bandwidth up to 400 Mbps. Apart from these advantages, there is only one disadvantage of using coaxial cable. That is, it is costlier than twisted pair cables. There are two types of coaxial cables, namely thick net and thin net. The only difference between these two is that thick net is thicker and its cable segments can be up to 500 meters long, whereas the thin net is thinner and it can have a maximum segment length of 185 meters. Let us now look at optical fibers. Optical fiber has a thin strand of glass or glass-like material, which are constructed in such a way that they carry light from a source at one end of the fiber to a detector at the other end. Type of lights used in optical fibers are either light-emitting diodes, LEDs, or laser diodes, LDs. Here, frequency modulation technique is used to modulate the data to be transmitted into a light beam, and at the receiver's end, the signals are demodulated. You must also note that optical fiber is capable of multi-channel communication as it offers a very high bandwidth. The optical fiber consists of three layers. They are core. It is glass or plastic through which the light travels. Cladding. It is the cover of the core that reflects the light back to the core. Protective or buffer coating. It saves the fiber cable from hostile environments. There are many advantages of using optical fibers. These are: it is capable of handling electrical and magnetic interference. It is mostly used in harsh industrial environments. It ensures secure transmission, having very high transmission capacity. It is also helpful in broadband transmission, where many channels can be handled in parallel. The various disadvantages of optical fibers include: it is tough to install and maintain, since they are quite fragile. It is costly than all the other cables. In optical fibers, connection loss is the most common problem, as connecting two fibers together or even connecting the light source with the cable is a difficult process. Here, light can also reach the receiver out of phase. There are two types of optical fibers available. They are 1. Single-node fiber optic cable, and 2. Multi-node fiber optic cable. Single-node fiber optic cable supports a segment length of up to 2 kilometers and bandwidth of up to 100 Mbps, whereas multi-node fiber optic cable has a segment length of 100 kilometers and bandwidth of 2 Gbps. Let us now discuss wireless transmission media in detail. Wireless is also known as unbounded or unbound media. It carries electromagnetic waves without using a physical conductor. These are available to anyone that has a device capable of receiving them, as the signals are broadcasted through air or water. Microwave, radio wave, satellite, infrared, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi are various wireless transmission media. First is about infrared. Frequency of light that is not visible to human eye is known as infrared. Just like visible light has wavelengths from red light to violet light, infrared has a range of wavelengths. Far infrared waves are thermal. Because of this reason, we feel the heat from sunlight, a fire, or a radiator. You cannot feel shorter, near infrared waves, and these are not hot in nature. The best example is the wavelengths used by your TV remotes. For the purpose of communication, infrared needs a transceiver, a combination of transmitter and receiver in both devices. Infrared communication is used in wireless data communication such as laptops, personal digital assistants or PDAs, digital cameras, mobile phones, pagers, and so on. It is sensitive to fog and other atmospheric conditions, as it is in a line of light transmission. Major advantages of infrared are: it is a secure mode of transmission as it has short range of communication. It is quite less costly transmission medium. There are few disadvantages of using infrared. They are: it is restricted for use only in short-range communication. Wave transmission in infrared cannot pass through obstructions like walls, buildings, etc. Next is about radio waves. While transmitting radio waves, each radio signal utilizes a different frequency. Specific radio frequencies are reserved for private or government organizations for making direct voice communications. Here, the transmitter obtains some message, encodes it, and then transmits it with radio wave. The receiver further receives the radio waves and decodes it. To radiate and capture the radio signals, both the transmitter and the receiver use antennas. Delivery services, policemen, and security personnel widely use radio transmissions. Advantages of radio waves are: radio waves enable easy communication in difficult terrains since there is no need of digging and laying cables. Radio waves can easily pass through obstacles like a building, so they can be used for both indoor and outdoor communication. Radio waves can travel through long distances in all directions. Disadvantages of radio waves are: various weather conditions like rain, thunderstorm, etc. hinders transmission of data through radio waves. In case of radio waves, data transmitted is unsecure. Next is about microwaves. Microwave is the other popular transmission medium. It allows data transmission rates of about 16 gigabits per second. Microwaves can also pass through obstacles such as buildings, mountains, etc., as it uses a line-of-sight method of communication. To transmit data through space, microwave uses high-frequency radio signals. In microwave, a transmitter and receiver of a microwave system are mounted on very high towers. It must be structured in such a way that both should be visible to each other, line of sight. In this case, for long distance, several repeater stations are required, thereby increasing the cost considerably. It is generally used for long-distance telephonic communications. Advantages of microwaves are: transmission of microwave is less expensive as it does require laying of cables. It offers ease of communication over difficult terrains like hilly areas as no cables are to be laid down. It can carry 25,000 voice channels at a time. Disadvantages of radio waves are: it requires amplification as the signals become weak after traveling a certain distance. To solve this problem, repeaters are used at regular intervals, 25 to 30 kilometers. The data signals are first received, next amplified, and further retransmitted. Thus, it is very expensive mode of communication. Installation and maintenance of microwave is very expensive. The transmission waves are affected by weather conditions such as rain, thunderstorms, etc. Next is about satellites. Satellites carry a large amount of data in addition to TV signals. Thus, they have become an essential part of telecommunication systems worldwide today. Satellite communication specially makes use of microwave transmission system. A satellite is precisely placed at 36,000 kilometers above the equator. Here, its speed of the orbit exactly matches the rotation speed of the Earth. The ground station has a satellite dish which acts as an antenna and communication equipment. This is used to transmit, called uplink, and receive, called downlink, data from satellites passing overhead. To build such satellites, it may cost around $60 million. Based on the frequency used, you can determine the capacity or number of channels used in satellite communication. Typical data transfer rates for these satellites are 1 to 10 Mbps. Wired infrastructure satellites can be used in remote locations where it is difficult to reach. Even for communication and data transfer on internet, you can use only satellites. Advantages of satellites are: communication through satellites are very economical as the area covered through satellite transmission is quite large. In satellite communication, irrespective of distance between the 2 points, the transmission and reception costs are independent. Disadvantages of satellites are: placing the satellite into its orbit is highly expensive. Security measures have to be taken to prevent unauthorized tampering of data, as signals sent to a satellite are broadcasted to all receivers. Weather conditions like rain, thunderstorm, etc. affects the transmission of data. In this module, you have learnt that transmission medium carries a signal from one computer to another. Wired transmission media includes twisted pair, coaxial, fiber optic, and Ethernet cable. Twisted pair cables are commonly found in LANs, and it consists of 2 insulated wires arranged in a regular spiral pattern, double helix. The STP cable is designed with shielding of the individual pairs of wires, which protects it from crosstalk and external interference. Coaxial cables consist of solid wire cores encircled by one or more foil or wire shields. Each of these are separated by a particular kind of plastic insulator. Optical fiber has a thin strand of glass or glass-like material, which are constructed in such a way that they carry light from a source at one end of the fiber to a detector at the other end. Wireless is also known as unbounded or unguided media. It carries electromagnetic waves without using a physical conductor. Frequency of light that is not visible to human eye is known as infrared. Microwaves allows data transmission rates of about 16 gigabits per second. Satellites carry a large amount of data in addition to TV signals. Thus, they have become an essential part of telecommunication systems worldwide today.